One of the reasons we wrote this book was partially curiosity for ourselves. We were wondering, why do people rescue animals, particularly in disasters? If you want to envision this, you all saw this on TV. You saw everybody, all these people leaving the Gulf Coast. And then there were all these people who were very similar to you. Some of you may have even been among them, who were watching these things on TV and saying, if 2 out of 3 American homes have pets, and these people were leaving and being told to leave without their pets, that means thousands and thousands and thousands of animals are in those homes, those flooded homes that we're seeing on TV. So they turned around and they were going to the Gulf Coast while everybody else was going away from the Gulf Coast. And we thought this was absolutely fascinating, that ordinary people, not just the organizations, but ordinary people took it upon themselves to pack their suitcases and go down there. Because there was so little identification, even animals that had collars, in the floods, the collars came off, and most of the animals were not microchipped. Of course, this was a big lesson learned for many people about microchipping. Because of that, there were thousands of volunteers who did not go to the Gulf Coast but stayed on their computers and worked on the internet night and day, putting in 12, 14, 16, 18 hours a day, trying to locate where the people went, where the animals were being temporarily sheltered, and how to get the people and the animals reunited. There were many new laws and new procedures that were put into place. There were people who were meeting over the telephone, doing a lot of teleconferencing, who were heads of these organizations and who were in the field of animal law, trying to help to get legislation passed and to get new procedures and standardization of animal rescue. What was going on was that all these different groups around the country that were set up to do animal rescue were not really in communication with each other all that well, and they weren't in sync in how they were doing things, and so nobody knew who was in charge. And so there was a lot of, like, who do we go to, where do we go, and many types of meetings and plans have been put into place now to get that much more organized should there be and there have been other disasters since then, like the wildfires in California, for example. You saw a lot better animal rescue going on, a lot more coordinated and organized than it was after Hurricane Katrina. The vet tech teams that were down there and the veterinarian teams worked under what could be described as just the absolute worst conditions. It was amazing to us. It was miraculous, the work that they did, considering the conditions that they were working under. Animal rescuers were doing jobs that you could not pay people to do. They were working in heat and stench. People would talk to us. One of the main things that people told us while we were interviewing them was that the sounds of the dogs barking was absolutely deafening. As you can tell, probably, we were so moved by what people told us about what drove them. One person described it as, she said, "Did you see that movie Close Encounters, where all these people from all over the place, they were sort of like getting this message, you have to come to this one place, you have to get there." She said, that's what we felt like. We would sit around talking about, it was like a calling. We felt a calling to help the animals.